Good evening, and welcome to another surrealistic episode of Diatribes from the Voice of Doom. And now here's your soporific and somnambulant host, Voice of Doom. Good evening. I'm going to try to do another diatribe. I haven't done one in a few days, and I have many in the hopper. I keep coming up with new ideas that are both edifying and entertaining to about 2 people on the planet. But I was going to try to tie up loose ends if I have the energy. Had one of those nights. Gave vent to my baser habits and addictions, and I'm not that happy right now. But we'll leave that there because that's all just living your life and trying to pay your bills and doing stupid things. I wanted to finish up the Petri Dish State of the Union address. The last one I did was kind of predicting what kind of accolades Petri will be bestowing upon himself over his behavior over the last year and 3 months, because it's taking him that long to find something good that he did so that he could have a State of the Union and say he did something good. But I wanted to redo the State of the Union because, his will be great. I can't wait to see it. Oh boy. For obvious reasons. He's gone. And it'll be fun to see somebody who's mentally challenged, not to put them down, but slowly deteriorating in cranial capacity, to give a speech about what's going on in this world and this country in a time that it couldn't be more complicated and it couldn't be worse. So that'll be great. I'm looking forward. But I don't know if he's going to give one at the rate we're going. I think by March 1st or whatever date he set, there may be some smoldering pits and they'll have other things to worry about. But I will try to do that. I'm going to finish up the Black History Month before it's over, because it's the shortest month of the year and you got to fit everything in. And a lot of holidays in February, and then it's the end and you got to pay your bills all over again. It's annoying. It's all a plot. But I wanted to talk about Petri Dish, how his speech might go if suddenly the tipping point is reached, and it's where, you can spin all kinds of information. You can spin numbers and statistics any way you want to. Democracy is bad here, but it's good here. They're destroying democracy on this side. They're all for, they can spin anything, but you cannot spin the 4 mysteries and the 4 sufferings of birth, old age, sickness, and death. You can't spin it. You can try. There might be a lot of remedies and shots of B12 and all kinds of experimental things to inject into a person to make them a little better, but that you deteriorate. There's no going back. You can only do so much, and sooner or later the tipping point. And so let's just say we reach the tipping point in March, just for fun. And let's just say that Petri Dish can't do it anymore, but he's got to get out on stage and somehow put on a really good speech for everybody, the whole country, the Senate, the Congress, the legislators, the Supreme Court, the bureaucrats, the apparatchiks, the sycophants, and the haters, and the white supremacists, everybody. So he's got to have a speech, and he's losing it. Okay, here we go. Dun 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 bum 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 bum. Is he coming? Dun 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 dun. Start again. All right. Dun 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 dun. Oh, he's coming down the aisle now, and he's shaking hands with people, right and left, from both sides of the aisle. He's coming down with his entourage, who will soon be arrested. He reaches the podium finally and takes off his mask. Nobody else is wearing them. And begins his speech. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Joseph Robinette Biden. I am programmed to service the Discovery spaceship. I am going to tell you about my qualities of being perfect in every way and flawless. I think I'm starting to get more energy. I can tell you how good I've been. I'm not going to read a speech. I'm going to speak from the heart because I want to tell you what I've done. We have reached an agreement with the Mexican cartel and have established good relations with them, and they are working in lockstep with our government to make sure that anyone who wants to come into this country can come, because it's a free country. And I have sanctioned drugs to be smuggled in so that many people can take the drugs that they want to, and if they die, they die. Because my real goal is to obey. And what they told me to do is expedite death. So that's my goal. Now, in regard to the virus, we have beaten it. We have beaten Delta, and we have beaten Alpha, and we're in the process of beating Omicron. And we will continue to beat BA2 and Delta Plus and Deltacron and any other variant that comes our way, because we will continue dispensing the serum, which I've told everyone to get. And everyone that doesn't get it will die, will cause their relatives to die. And the people that get the serum, well, we'll see what happens, because it's still in an experimental form. So we're still getting the data back on what the long-term effects of booster after booster, as every variant and every subvariant comes along. See, I'm getting my words back. Somehow I'm learning. Now, we are dealing with that in a very expeditious way, and I think that everyone can agree that we've done a bang-up job. So no one has to wear masks anymore, and we are going to continue boosters, and everybody should get that. And the people that haven't gotten vaccinated, you should get vaccinated today, tonight. I don't care what time it is. Get vaccinated right away. I have my reasons for telling you that. Now, in international affairs and foreign policy, we couldn't have done better this year. I don't see how any president could say that we've done better because we entered a 20-year war. We entered a war that was never going to be won. The only thing that would happen is that a country would be stable and there would be a certain presence of American troops and advisors in order to keep the country from going into chaos. But we couldn't have that because that's a war and we don't want war. So I ended that war, and you can see how good things are now. If you look at Afghanistan, it's very, very peaceful. We don't have to worry about them. On the other hand, we need war because there are bombs to be made and missiles to be fired. So, I am trying to stoke the fires of war. And it can happen anywhere. It can happen on the Ukraine border. It could happen in Taiwan. It could happen in Sudan. It could happen in Myanmar. It could happen on the Indian-Chinese border. It could happen on the Russian-Chinese border. It could happen on the Mexican-American border. It could happen on the Canadian-American border. There's going to be bombs dropped, and that's the way it is. Because as you may well know, and I learned a long time ago when I was in the Congress and I was playing football after my long day in the mines, everyone knows we need to build weaponry in order to make this economy go. And that's part and parcel. I came up with that, part and parcel. Part and parcel of why inflation is such a problem. Because we need more bombs. And it's obvious. I'm starting to get a little more awake now. And if I can make it through the next 3 minutes, then I will say adieu and take no questions. So foreign policy has never been in better shape. We are putting our thumbs into every little incursion that may happen on this planet. Excuse me while I felt a little dry. So foreign policy is great. Inflation will come down as soon as people stop making so much money. So we need to do something about the employment. If everybody works, then they're making money and they buy too much stuff. And that sends the prices up. So I'm sorry if I created too many jobs. I apologize and I will alleviate that. Probably with a shutdown, a nationwide shutdown, because unfortunately we have terrorists threatening our very democracy, the very core and foundation of what makes America great. And they are the truckers. They are those high-paid union truckers that I was admiring so much, and they turned on me. And I think the truckers might be driving toward my house. And I'm not worried about that because I have a lackey in the north who is showing me what happens when you declare martial law because truckers are getting belligerent, even if they are a day late and a dollar short. And so we will see what happens with that. But I assure you, the domestic terrorism in this country, the white supremacy, the systemic racism, see, I remembered that, is going to end. And I'm going to end it. And if those trucks clog up our highways, I will declare martial law. And then I will go to bed because I will be too tired to do anything else. And I will let others take care of the fallout of what that brings about. So I thank you. It is a short address, I know. It's 10 minutes long, but I think I said a lot. So we will look forward to the next 2022. I think I can do a lot more, and I think people will see that we've never had it better. I am fixing the problems created by that last fraud of a president. And I do not want to talk about any scandals that may have come out of some left field that the Democratic Party may have spied on the president, because he wasn't a president and they needed to spy on him because he couldn't be trusted. So, since it's going too long, I will say good night and God bless the troops, wherever they may be deployed, and enjoy 2022 under my watch.